Anyone who is confined in close quarters with other people is at high risk, and that includes prisoners and corrections officers. There are already confirmed cases in facilities in Canada, and as Ross Lord explains, advocacy groups say unless Canada's most vulnerable inmates are removed from institutions, the consequences could be deadly.
At this time of shifting lifestyles, another surprising move could be in the works: releasing prison inmates during the pandemic.
We think there's really only one way to prevent the spread of the virus, and that is to release as many prisoners as possible into safe and supported housing in the community.
Advocates say it should start with offenders who are elderly, nonviolent, or with medical conditions that leave them especially vulnerable. They say otherwise, COVID-19 could kill large clusters of inmates. A former inmate of this women's prison in Nova Scotia says fending off contagion is impossible.
The common areas are too small to be practicing physical or social distancing. They share bathrooms, they share the kitchens, they share the common areas.
Some inmates have been granted a temporary absence, mostly those who were serving sentences on weekends at provincial jails like this one. But the federal government has resisted calls to release nonviolent prisoners from federal institutions. Ottawa says Public Safety Minister Bill Blair is checking to determine whether there are measures that could be taken to facilitate early release for certain offenders. Correctional Service Canada says it's preventing the spread of COVID-19 through measures like suspending visits to inmates. But in several institutions, infection is taking hold, including Port Cartier, Quebec, where some inmates and staff have tested positive, and the Grand Valley Institution for Women in Ontario, which is reporting an infected inmate. Some provincial jails, including the Saskatoon Correctional Centre, have several infected staff members.
Should it happen, the likelihood of it spreading wildly across the population is very high.
The Correctional Officers Union says the answer is changing routines within institutions, not releasing inmates. No easy answer for another pandemic predicament. Ross Lord, Global News, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.